Here we go again. Let's find out on how we can grow sundews at home. Sundews are very special and unique plants. They are just like Venus flytraps. They are carnivorous plants that feed on insects for additional nutrients. And many gardeners grow sundews for their unique leaves, which produce all these very sticky nectar that attract and trap insects. They are just like flypapers, right? When insects feed on them, they land on them, they got stuck and they are digested on the leaves. So they are flypapers. They use sticky nectar to stick insects, to trap insects, not like Venus flytrap or pitcher plants. Right? And sundews are super pretty under the sun. Because of their glittering dews, it's like a plant chandelier. You can see a lot of glittering on the leaves. And they are actually very easy to grow. Right? In fact, actually, most carnivorous plants, once you know how to grow them, they are very, very easy to grow. Right? Easier than your usual garden plants. So to grow sundew well, you first have to understand their growing conditions, right? And then with that understanding, you can then replicate the same growing conditions in your own garden, in your own growing environment. So if you have not downloaded my ebook Grow, click on the link below and download it for free today. Right? In that book, I will show you exactly how to do that, how to look at the growing conditions and how to replicate them. So let's get started. So the first thing that you should do is to look for photos of sundews growing in the wild. So just do a quick Google search online, right? And you can find many photos of sundews growing there in their natural habitat. And from these photos, we can then observe their growing conditions. Right? What we want to do, we want to replicate the same as them, right? Because in their natural habitat, they got very little stress. And so we want to reduce the stress in our own garden also. And that's the key to growing any plant well. So the first condition we look at is light. So here are some photos of sundews growing in the wild. So can you see the shadows? Can you see the reflections? Can you see the very bright kind of environment in their natural habitat? So very clearly, sundews are exposed to long hours of direct sunlight. So to grow them well, you have to give them enough sunlight. So grow them under direct sunlight, right? Directly under the sun for at least 6 to 8 hours a day. You don't have to worry about them getting dry out under the sun, right? They are built for that kind of environment. And when they are receiving good amount of sunlight, not only that they will turn red, right? They will actually produce a lot more dew. Right? You got a lot more crystals and diamonds on the leaves, and you get an even more pretty plant, right, in your own garden. So next, watering. Look at the soil. Look at the moisture on the ground. So can you see that the soil is like very wet? You can see all these very small puddles of water in the photos, right? That's an indicator of waterlogged soil condition. The soil is always full of water. If you read articles about them, you will also know that they are most often found in bogs and marshes where it's very wet. So what you can do is that you will want to recreate bogs and marshes in your own garden to grow them. So to do that, sit your pot of sundew, right? Sit the entire pot of sundew on a small shallow tray of water and never let the tray of water dry out. But you have to change the water every day, right? You have to change the water regularly and do not let mosquitoes breed in your own garden. That will be very bad, right? Next, potting media, right? As for all carnivorous plants, they feed because their soil lack the nutrients that they need to grow. So in bogs and marshes, if you read about it, they are usually nutrient deficient. There's not a lot of nutrients in the soil. So to grow sundew well, you have to use nutrient-free soil, a nutrient-free potting media like peat moss, dried sphagnum moss. And not only that, they are nutrient-free, and they also retain a good amount of water. Right? Although perlite is another kind of potting media, but it's nutrient-free, but it doesn't retain water well. So use something that is water retaining too. And so you will have a bog-like conditions in a small pot. And the next growing condition is humidity. This is fairly straightforward. Very wet condition means very high humidity. Bogs and marshes are usually very humid. So to increase humidity in your own garden, what you can do is that you can either grow more plants where all this transpiration process will give out a lot more water vapor. Or you can just grow them near water bodies, like if you have a pond in your garden, grow sundews beside it. If you have a river or something, you have to grow them there. So you can also block away all these strong winds too. Winds tend to draw away all this humidity and cause your plants to lose water faster. So grow some tall plants or have some kind of structure to block away all these strong winds. And the last growing condition that we looked at is feeding. Feeding refers to the nutrients level in the soil. So for the case of carnivorous plants, no matter what it is, never fertilize their soil. They are found in nutrient deficient areas, so definitely no fertilizers. Their roots are also designed to take in water only. They have very simple root structures. Is to hold them and absorb water. If there's too much nutrients in the soil, they will actually suffer from root burn and they can easily die. Also, there is no need to really feed your sundews. You don't have to catch insects and put them on the leaf so that they can eat. Very often you will see small flying insects that got stuck on their leaves. They can catch their own food and their own insects. So let them feed themselves. So after all this analysis, all this understanding of these 5 growing conditions, can you see how easy it is to grow them? Many gardeners fail to grow carnivorous plants or fail to grow sundews well. It is usually because the lack of knowledge. And it applies to all the other plants too. Knowledge is key, and knowledge helps you to increase or accelerate your success. So once you know what their growing conditions are, you recreate them, you recreate the same kind of growing conditions in your own garden, your plants will do well. And that's what gardening is all about. It's not about plants, it's about providing and managing growing environments for plants to grow well. So if this is the first time you are watching my video, what I am sharing here is very powerful stuff. And not all gardeners know this. It took me 10 years, a decade to figure out all these things. And today I'm sharing it with you for free. And all I ask is that you click on the subscribe button below, turn on the notifications and give me a thumbs up. That's all I am asking for. So if you have any questions on gardening, if you want me to review any other plants, you want me to look at other plants using the grow method or things like that, give me a comment below. I read all your comments, and if your question is good, if your plant is something that is interesting, I can make a video on it. And I am looking forward